Alright, pulled the motor on this 2014 Chevy Equinox, doing an engine rebuild, and just wanted to discuss kind of what goes into the parts list and cost of doing a rebuild, just to give you a heads up. This particular motor, cylinder 2 piston, had contact with the valves, so I had replaced this piston. That was like 65 bucks for OEM, and they have all new rings in all of them, and all new rod bearings in all of them. I am replacing all of the intake and exhaust valves since some of them were bent. So here's the intake and exhaust valves, and then I did buy this kit off Amazon just to help with installing them. To remove the keepers on the valves, I just did the old socket and extension with a mallet thing, and they popped out just fine. But anyway, so some specialty tools, something that you can get the valves in and out if you're having to do that job. There's an E-Torx bit that you're going to need for the head bolts, and then some of these Allen head sockets, or something's got the Allen head on it. I'm choosing to go ahead and replace these VVT solenoids. It's got 170,000 miles on the car, and there were several codes in relation to things, so I just went ahead and got those. Thermostat, the coolant pipe crossover O-rings, which is here. It goes to the thermostat over, there's 2 rings, and then it goes to the water pump. You got the grinding compound for the valves, some ultra gray. This one I need because there's an issue with the exhaust manifold. It's got a little bit of a crack on it, not all the way through. I just want to seal it up. The VVT bolts, the actuator bolts. I had a damaged O2 sensor on the upstream, so I have a new one of those. Some brake parts cleaner, a new oil filter, oil, rear main seal, which if you look it up, I think it's a crankshaft seal rear, and 4 new spark plugs, exhaust pipe flange. I don't have a new one of these yet, but that's what goes at the end of. So here's a catalytic converter, and it goes down there to connect to the next downpipe. So here's the FelPro head gasket kit. So it comes with the multi-layer steel head gasket, the exhaust gasket, valve cover gasket, and then the internal gasket for that seal. Does come with a high pressure fuel pump gasket and seal kit, which I did buy separately because I wasn't sure of the quality of the FelPro, if it was just fabric, but it is in fact a steel layer in there. And you got your intake seals, fuel injector seals, and then the throttle body. There's a water pump seal there, another exhaust catalytic converter flange, so I can probably return the other one. Then your valve sim seals, and then some fuel injector seals. I do need to get a new timing cover gasket. It did not come with any of the kits that I purchased. The Cloy's timing chain kit with water pump. I definitely do not recommend purchasing any of those knockoff Chinese things. The quality is garbage on them, and sometimes the things don't line up correctly, or they pack them incorrectly. It's just not reliable. New head bolts. So as long as I don't have to replace anything else, and I can just put it back together as is right now, I'm in it for right about $800. So all of the parts, including that one piston and the piston rings and the rod bearings, all this stuff, just to give you an idea of cost when you dive into this and what kind of parts you can get. Most of these are name brand, the Molly or GM specific. You know, save where you can, but don't buy the cheap crap. It'll come back to bite you later. So I'll give you an idea of what all it takes to do it, what you need, and about how much it costs to get that job done. Hope it helped you out. Thanks.